This observer, who was brought into existence by the universe, has, by his acts of observation, a part in bringing that universe itself into being.
What if I told you your past isn't fixed? It's still being created in real time. This isn't a theory, it's hard quantum physics. John Wheeler, the physicist who worked with Einstein and coined the term black hole, said, "No phenomenon is real until it is observed." Let that sink in. Nothing exists until you perceive it. Your past, your failures, your limits. They only exist because you accept them as real. But here's what they don't tell you. You can change it. Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that your observations right now don't just shape the future, they rewrite the past. Most people never figure this out. They stay trapped, replaying the same story, never realizing they could flip the script instantly. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to do it. Watch closely, because once you see this, there's no going back. What if I told you that the past isn't set in stone? That every moment in history, including your own memories, successes, and failures, is still waiting to be finalized? This isn't some wild conspiracy or science fiction plot. This is the reality-shattering conclusion of John Wheeler, one of the greatest physicists of all time, the man who worked alongside Einstein and coined the term black hole. And his most shocking theory? Reality does not exist until it is observed. Let that sink in. Everything you think is real, from the walls around you to the struggles in your life, only exists because you acknowledge it. Now imagine this. A single photon, a tiny particle of light, is shot through a double-slit experiment. The moment you look at it, the photon decides which path it took. But here's where it gets completely insane. Wheeler proved that the photon's decision happened in the present. It reaches back in time and decides its path retroactively. Yes, you read that right. Your present observation can change the past. Let's break this down into a real-world example that will make your jaw drop. Imagine sending a text to someone, and instead of them replying based on their actual mood, their past shifts to align with what you expect their response to be. It sounds insane, right? But in quantum mechanics, that's exactly what's happening. The delayed choice experiment shows that time itself is not a fixed sequence. It's a fluid, ever-changing construct shaped by the observer. Now here's where things get life-altering. If a tiny photon can change its past based on what happens in the present, then what does that mean for your life, your memories, your identity? Are the struggles you've been through actually set in stone? Or could they be, just like the photon, waiting for your observation to change them? This is where 99% of people get reality completely wrong. Most people live trapped in their own past narratives, repeating the same patterns over and over, never realizing that they can rewrite the script at any moment. They think their failures are permanent, their traumas are unchangeable, and their circumstances are beyond their control. But Wheeler's mind-shattering experiment proves otherwise. Reality is not a fixed timeline. It's a participatory event. Your attention is the missing ingredient. You are not just a passive observer in life. You are the creator, shaping the outcome as you go. And if the universe itself works this way, then doesn't it make sense that your life, your personal story, and your future work this way too? The question is no longer, is this real? The question is, how do I use this to reshape my reality? And that's exactly what you're about to learn next. Buckle up. This is where we go from mind-blowing theory to life-changing application. Imagine your life is a quantum experiment, and you are the scientist in charge. Every single day, the universe is running tests based on your focus, your expectations, and your beliefs. The way you observe reality determines the outcome of every single event. Here's how to hack the system. Step 1. The quantum journal method. Wheeler's work suggests that reality is influenced by observation. So the key is to observe the future you want before it happens. This is where your journal becomes your most powerful tool. Every morning, write down 3 observations as if they are already real. For example, I notice that people are treating me with more respect and admiration today. I observe that money and opportunities are flowing into my life effortlessly. I am witnessing evidence that my manifestations are coming true. Why does this work? Because your brain is wired to look for what you expect to see. When you pre-program it with an observation list, reality begins to rearrange itself to match those expectations. This is not wishful thinking. It's the same principle behind the placebo effect, where belief alone rewires biology. Step 2. The observer's filter technique. Want proof that this works? Try this experiment today. Decide on something specific you want to observe. For example, the color red or a specific symbol. Go about your day as usual. By the end of the day, you'll have seen it everywhere. This is called reticular activation. Your mind filters out millions of pieces of information every second and only shows you what you're trained to look for. If this works for something as small as a color, imagine what happens when you apply it to wealth, success, or transformation. Step 3. Reprogramming past reality. Time rewriting meditation. Since Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that observation affects the past, this means we can rewrite the past by observing it differently. Try this now. Close your eyes and bring up a painful memory. Imagine it playing out differently. Picture yourself stronger, calmer, completely in control. Hold on to this new version and let it replace the old one. Science shows that your brain doesn't know the difference between a memory and imagination. The neurons firing in your brain will literally rewire themselves based on this exercise. Do this consistently, and you will actually change your emotional and physical reality. Most people are living in a past they refuse to let go of. This technique allows you to finally observe a new past, which shifts your future automatically. So, everything in your reality is responding to your attention. Change where you place it, and the entire quantum field shifts in your favor. But there's one more thing you need to know. The scientific proof that this isn't just theory. It's happening every single second. And John Wheeler wasn't the only one onto this. Einstein, Schrödinger, and Bohr all suspected reality wasn't fixed. But today's experiments confirm it beyond any doubt. The world you see isn't solid. It shifts based on observation. The most infamous quantum experiment in history, the double-slit experiment, proves this beyond question. Scientists fired tiny particles through 2 slits, expecting them to behave like bullets. But the moment they weren't observed, the particles spread out like waves, existing everywhere at once. When they were observed, they collapsed into a single path, as if reality was waiting for a conscious mind to lock it in place. That means reality isn't set in stone. It waits for you to decide what's real. Even outside physics, psychology backs this up. The placebo effect is proof. People take a sugar pill, believing it's medicine, and their body heals itself anyway. Their belief alone rewrites their biology. And here's the shocking part. This doesn't just work on health. Studies show that expectation influences everything. Your wealth, success, relationships. The richest people in the world aren't struggling for money because their observation is already wired for abundance. Meanwhile, those who expect struggle find struggle everywhere. This is not new age fluff. This is hard science. Your thoughts and focus literally sculpt your reality at a quantum level. Your subconscious is like an unseen architect, feeding signals into the system of existence itself. And just like the particles in the double-slit experiment, your future isn't fixed. It's fluid, waiting for your observation to shape it. This is why some people break free while others stay trapped. It's not luck. It's perception. The second you shift your focus, the entire field of probability shifts with you. If John Wheeler was right, Your reality is not happening to you. It's happening because of you. So the real question is, what will you choose to observe next? And after understanding that reality isn't as fixed as it might seem, we can start thinking about how to reshape our own lives by considering different perspectives and possibilities. It's like realizing you can adjust your path, not just follow it. Our lives are a series of decisions, big and small, each setting the stage for the next chapter. When we acknowledge that reality is not set in stone, there's an opportunity to make substantial changes that might have once seemed impossible. The concept of time loops and alternate realities can be a bit mind-bending, but breaking it down simply, time doesn't just move forward in a single line. It can loop, turn, and branch out in ways we might not have imagined before. Imagine each decision as a path, where choosing one direction could lead to a reality distinct from the other choice. While this might sound abstract, think about how you reconsider past decisions, imagining different outcomes had you chosen otherwise. Perhaps you've heard of the butterfly effect, the idea that small actions can have huge impacts. This leads us to think about how small, positive changes in our lives can redirect us toward more fulfilling realities. Instead of getting stuck in the idea of a single linear path, you can make new choices, aware that each action holds the potential to open up new avenues and alter your course. History is full of stories where people changed their life's trajectory by taking seemingly minor steps. A punctual choice, a heartfelt apology, a sudden inspiration turned into action. What separates these moments from day-to-day choices is their impact, how they shift the narrative of someone's life. This notion can help us approach decisions with more openness and creativity. It doesn't mean fearing every choice, but rather cherishing the transformative potential within them. Consider this: not every alternate reality needs to be vastly different. Sometimes reshaping your life could mean only slight adjustments that bring profound happiness or satisfaction. You know those mornings you decide to start something new, a hobby, a habit, a different routine. That choice sets a ripple of change that builds over time, redirecting your life. It's about embracing the capacity for change and growth every day. Also, this idea can help reduce the weight of past regrets. Instead of dwelling on what could have been, think of every regret as a branch, a path you could explore mentally to understand yourself better, not something to fixate upon. The acknowledgement of alternate realities isn't about lingering in the past, but enriching your decision-making process today, feeling less confined by what once was. In terms of time loops, it might feel like déjà vu or recognizing a pattern in your life that keeps recurring. Some people use this awareness to break out of cycles that feel restrictive, approaching decisions with fresh, new energy each time. It's about learning, adapting, and choosing new behaviors to form preferred patterns. As you reshape your life, there's benefit in keeping an open mind and heart. Instead of trying to predict every possible future, an approach that often leads to stress, embrace what feels right to you in the moment. Notice opportunities that align with who you are and who you want to be. Embracing alternate realities also encourages a mindset of abundance, understanding that there are numerous opportunities and pathways. Even if one road appears closed, others abound. This encourages a more resilient perspective, one where setbacks aren't the end, but merely a prompt to try another direction. Lastly, reshaping your life within this context is profoundly personal. It's about identifying what truly matters to you. Clarifying your values and priorities will guide you through the myriad of possibilities and decisions, helping you create a life that reflects your genuine self, one reality at a time. And with these thoughts in mind, let's look ahead to how science is testing these theories, bridging imagination with evidence. In our quest to grasp the vastness of experiments and theories concerning time loops and alternate realities, we start with a fascinating experiment that redefines our understanding of how reality might unfold. At the heart of this exploration lies the double-slit experiment. a classic in quantum physics. Its results are both mysterious and enlightening, offering a glimpse into the strange behavior of particles and perhaps the nature of time and reality itself. In this experiment, particles, like electrons or photons, are fired at a barrier with two slits. Behind the barrier is a screen that records where each particle lands. When the slits are open and no one is observing, the particles create an interference pattern on the screen, as if they are waves passing through both slits simultaneously. However, once an observer attempts to measure which slit the particles go through, the interference pattern vanishes, and the particles behave like solid objects, passing through one slit at a time. This suggests that the act of observation itself affects how particles behave, blurring the lines of what reality is until it is measured or observed. This intriguing phenomenon opens discussions on the idea that different realities or timelines might indeed coexist. If observation can change outcomes on a particle level, could it also shape larger scales of reality? This notion invites theories that propose we create or choose from alternate realities by observing or interacting with them differently. It leads us to consider the immense possibilities of time loops and alternate realities, where every decision we make might shift us onto a different path, creating a new timeline. Another marvel in this field is the concept of superposition, where quantum particles can be in multiple states simultaneously until they are observed. Leading physicists like Schrödinger encapsulated this idea with a thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat. This imaginary cat is placed in a sealed box with a mechanism that has the potential to release poison based on a random quantum event, whether a particle decays or not. Until the box is opened and observed, the cat exists in a superposition of being both alive and dead. This strange scenario mirrors the idea that our reality could be simultaneously existing in a superposition of different fates, waiting to collapse into one reality upon observation. As we explore alternate realities, the concept of time loops emerges as a focal point. These loops suggest the possibility of revisiting the past, enabling changes or adjustments. In theoretical physics, time loops are described through concepts like closed time-like curves. Some physicists argue that such loops could allow particles to move back and forth in time, potentially altering events in an alternate timeline. While this might sound like science fiction, philosophers and scientists have pondered its implications for decades. Could time loops explain persistent déjà vu experiences, or offer explanations for moments when events seem predestined? By considering these loops, we open doors to understanding how past events could influence the present and future, and how altering past actions might reshape the timeline we are currently on. Beyond these experimental and theoretical explorations lies an exciting idea: multiverse theory. This posits an infinite number of parallel universes that exist alongside our own, each slightly or vastly different. Every decision, every path not taken may manifest an alternate reality. Experiments are still largely speculative in proving the existence of a multiverse, but the possibility drives significant research, seeking to uncover how these realities might intersect. One of the theories supports the idea that interactions among different realities could impact events in ours. For instance, if two universes came close or overlapped, would we notice a shift, a ripple in time, or even experience glitches that suggest a crossing over of information? These are just some of the questions scientists are eager to answer. The pursuit to understand these complexities may one day reveal how interconnected realities shape our lives. These experiments and theories challenge our traditional understanding of reality. Through considered thought, groundbreaking experimentation, and striking theories, we are prompted to rethink time, choice, and existence. As we continue to uncover the mysteries behind time loops and alternate realities, who knows what fascinating truths we might discover? Let's take this from theory to real life. because this is where everything changes. If Wheeler's delayed choice experiment proves that the past is influenced by the present, then what does that mean for you? It means that every moment you thought was set in stone, the regrets, the failures, the mistakes, is still in play. Your life story isn't a finished book. It's a living manuscript, and with the right approach, you can rewrite it. Here's how. The time rewriting meditation. If the universe is constantly reshaping itself based on how it's observed, then you can deliberately choose a new observation of your past to shift your present and future. This isn't just a feel-good exercise. It's rewiring your brain and your reality at the same time. Try this now. Step 1. Close your eyes and recall a negative event in your past, one that still affects you today. Step 2. Instead of replaying the trauma, imagine a new version of it. See yourself reacting differently, calm, in control, powerful. Step 3. Hold that new version in your mind. See it, feel it, absorb it. Step 4. When you open your eyes, you've just created a new neural pathway. Your subconscious will now process that memory differently. Why this works? Neuroscience shows that your brain doesn't store memories like a hard drive. It rebuilds them every time you recall them. Each time you bring up a memory, you are editing it. So why not edit it in your favor? This is Wheeler's theory in action. You are literally delaying your choice about what happened in the past. And by choosing a new observation, you shift how reality unfolds moving forward. Do this for 7 days, and watch your emotional state, confidence, and even external circumstances begin to shift. The past isn't what you think it is. It's waiting for your new perception. And this brings us to the most mind-blowing realization of all. Most people believe life is linear, that time moves forward, that events happen, and that they're simply reacting to it all. But that's a lie. Reality is a loop, a self-correcting, self-reinforcing cycle that continuously mirrors your expectations. Think of it like this. Your beliefs shape what you notice. What you notice reinforces your beliefs. Your beliefs then shape your actions. Your actions shape your results. Your results reinforce your beliefs. Here's the ultimate reality hack, the 3-step observer's method. If reality is a loop, you can disrupt it and reprogram it using 3 simple steps. Step 1. Observe with intention. Every morning, decide what you expect to see. Not what you hope to see, what you know will happen. For example, today, I will see undeniable proof that my reality is shifting in my favor. Step 2. Act as if the shift is already happening. Behave as though reality has already changed. Walk, talk, and make decisions as the version of you who is already thriving. Your brain will begin reconfiguring itself to align with this. Step 3. Collect proof and reinforce the loop. As you go through the day, watch for signs. The more you acknowledge reality shifting, the faster it recalibrates. Even small signs, like unexpected good luck, coincidences, or people treating you differently, are proof that you're tuning into a new frequency of reality. What happens when you do this daily? Your entire life begins rearranging itself to fit your new observation. Because this isn't about faking it. It's about using the science of observation to shift the experiment in real time. Wheeler's final warning. If you don't control the loop controls you. Most people observe the same things every day, reinforcing the same reality and staying stuck in self-imposed limits. The key is to interrupt the loop and start observing a new reality, one where you are in control. And this is where everything comes together in one final mind-blowing realization. Here's what they don't want you to know. John Wheeler once said, "The past exists only because we observe it." If that's true, then everything you've ever experienced is still flexible. Your failures, your limitations, your so-called mistakes. They are waiting for you to reinterpret them. Reality doesn't have a fixed script. It's an interactive, living system. And the second you start deliberately observing a new version of yourself, reality will catch up. But here's the most important part. You don't need to fix anything. You just need to start seeing reality differently. Challenge. For the next 7 days, practice this. Use the observer's method, rewrite a past event, and set an expectation every morning. Then come back to this video and tell me what happened. Final call to action. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll continue living as if reality is out of their control. But a few, the ones who get it, will start shifting their perception, and their entire life will begin changing in ways they never thought possible. Your reality is waiting for you to rewrite it. The only question is, will you take control? So we've gone through some intriguing experiments and theories that challenge our understanding of time and reality. Now let's talk about how the delayed choice effect, an idea that feels like it belongs in science fiction, can actually play out in our daily lives. This concept comes from physics and touches on how actions can influence outcomes, even after events seem to be decided. Think about situations where you make a decision, and it feels like the choice somehow affects things already set in motion. Have you ever picked something different at the last moment, and everything seems to fall into place, as if your choice reached back and changed the course of events? It might feel like coincidence or intuition, but it's closely related to the delayed choice thought experiment. Imagine you're planning your day and you spontaneously decide to take a different route to work. On the surface, it seems like a minor change. But during the drive, you encounter someone you haven't seen in years, leading to new connections or even opportunities. The initial decision seemed small, but its impact ripples through time, shaping outcomes not just in the future, but reinforcing the idea that perception and choice are subtly interlinked even with past events. This concept encourages a mindset that recognizes every choice as active, present, and influential. It invites us to consider the idea that our perception and awareness can actually shape outcomes. It's a bit like rereading a story. Each time, you notice new details, and the ending feels different, even if the text hasn't changed. Our understanding of the events shifts based on what we bring into the reading each time. There's another layer to this idea, grounded in mindful living. When people say to live in the moment, they imply being fully aware of the present. The delayed choice effect offers a deeper layer to that notion, suggesting that making conscious choices now can resonate with past scenarios and transform what seemed fixed. For instance, think about an argument with a friend. The way you choose to react in the moment, with patience or frustration, seems like it might only affect the future of that relationship. But, reflecting on this concept, your response can cast a new light on past interactions, changing the narrative you hold about the friendship's history, its quality, and its progression to what it is now. Applying this idea takes practice. It involves actively choosing how you wish to respond and what you decide to focus on. After a family disagreement, reconsider your feelings the following day. This slight pause, this choice, can alter your perception, making past interactions appear more positive or offer previously unnoticed insights. The action still occurred, but your current choices shape its meaning. In a world that can feel predetermined and unchangeable, the delayed choice effect offers hope. It hints that while much seems set in stone, there's room to influence, reinterpret, and redefine. The key lies in recognizing you have the agency to form your reality through choices, big and small, that resonate backward and forward in time. It's like seeing a painting from different angles. With each new perspective, you notice colors and forms that missed your attention before. Similarly, decisions let you experience life from different angles, crafting a newly perceived past, which influences the road ahead. In our next section, we'll explore reality as a concept that loops back on itself. We'll see how to embrace this to create moments that help you handle life's challenges and opportunities with more clarity and intent. The delayed choice effect is just the start of understanding time and actions in a fresh light, offering tools to paint your future with broader, more colorful strokes. Let's take a closer look at how the concept of reality itself could be seen as a loop, and how you can use this idea for your benefit. So, imagine waking up every morning, not just to the same sounds and familiar faces, but to the possibility that today isn't just any other day. What if every day was a chance not just for routine, but for reinvention? Seeing reality as a loop opens up this exciting prospect. Think about your daily habits and routines. Most people think of them as linear, where every action leads to the next. But what if you viewed them as loops? Continuous cycles where each action feeds back into the start of your next, creating patterns. In this view, every step of your day could become an opportunity to make small tweaks that eventually transform the whole loop. This new perspective encourages something powerful: conscious iteration. Maybe yesterday you were not fully satisfied with how you handled a situation. The loop grants you another chance. By reflecting on past outcomes and tweaking your approach bit by bit, you can slowly reshape the cycle in your favor. You become more than just a passenger of time. You're the artist, painting your days on a constantly refreshing canvas. Another aspect to consider is the influence of your mental state on these loops. Your thoughts and emotions aren't separate from the cycle. They are at its core. The way you perceive your day can set the tone for how it unfolds. If you start with a mindset focused on possibilities rather than limitations, your day's loop is more likely to reflect that positivity back at you. So nurturing a sense of optimism and gratitude can create loops that offer you brighter and more fulfilling experiences. To use reality loops to your advantage, you can adopt a playful attitude towards your routines. Instead of viewing them as rigid or stale, treat them as experiments. Each day, try something a tiny bit different. Wake up a bit earlier to enjoy a quiet moment. Add one more page to your reading time, or try to connect more deeply in a conversation. These small changes can ripple through your life's loops, sparking new outcomes and insights. Moreover, the metaphor of the loop can help you build resilience. Life isn't always smooth. Some loops will feel like they are spinning out of control. But knowing that the loop continues, that each ending is another beginning, can lend you the perspective that difficult times aren't forever. This awareness allows you to approach challenges with patience and a sense of learning. It's this understanding that loops are continuous that offers you both hope and opportunity. Taking this idea further, consider your long-term goals and ambitions. Envision them as larger loops within your life. Each day you engage in activities and decisions that contribute to these goals, shaping the path towards them. Setbacks aren't failures, they are feedback for your next loop. This vision frames every effort as an integral part of a dynamic process. A cycle where progress isn't about perfection, but about persistence and growth. And there's something liberating about seeing your life this way. It means embracing that change is part and parcel of the cycle. You're not trapped in your past choices, but free to forge new links in your life's chain. This ongoing evolution reflects a beautiful truth. Each day is another opportunity to rewrite your story, correcting the loop's course whenever necessary. Incorporating the loop framework into your understanding of reality gives you power. Power to change, to adapt, to overcome, and to explore. It encourages living with purpose and mindfulness, knowing that every small action accumulates. It's about seeing your own movie unfold, one scene at a time, where you already know the rhythm, but hold the pen for each new script. Next up is the final twist in our exploration, as we unlock the ultimate piece of this fascinating puzzle, the mind-blowing revelation that'll tie all these concepts together, providing a whole new dimension to consider and utilize. Stay tuned for the unveiling of the final mystery. Think about how each moment feels like it's repeating, yet subtly different. That's the essence of a time loop, where you live the same day, the same event, over and over. Yet, with each repetition, there's a chance to see the deeper layers beneath. It's like peeling an onion, each layer revealing the same core, but offering new details, fresh insights, and unexpected surprises. Now, if we've understood that reality can loop, can echo its stories, what does that mean for our lives? What if each moment, each decision, every single choice is part of a grand design, shaping not just this reality, but countless others? It's not just about being stuck. It's about recognizing that we have the opportunity to refine our actions, to resculpt our lives with each round. Imagine living a day filled with mistakes or regrets. How would you approach it differently if you knew you could meet it again, armed with what you learned? It's the ultimate second chance, not limited by luck, but by choice. And each attempt doesn't have to be perfect. It's more about understanding what's possible and what you truly value. Perhaps in those repetitions, the patterns start to show themselves, the causes of conflict, the seeds of joy. It's like rewinding a film and watching each frame. You begin to predict the next scene, know the dialogues by heart, and maybe even change the script in subtle ways. With this insight, imagine how much more deliberate and meaningful decisions can become. At this point, it's natural to ponder the wider implications. If loops exist, what are alternate realities like? Are they waiting for us to create them, or do they exist independently, shaped by every possibility we consider? It's a staggering thought, but one that offers liberation, the freedom to mold a version of existence that truly aligns with our hopes and dreams. There is tremendous power in realizing we might exist across multiple planes, and that one version of us might be learning faster, another living more boldly. With this realization, maybe there's a chance to tap into those lessons, to draw inspiration from versions of ourselves that are more courageous, wise, or curious. When faced with a problem, consider looking at it through this lens. Even the worst situations are not merely obstacles, but opportunities for different outcomes, alternate realities. These are places where things go differently, where every route not taken here is explored and lived out. Ultimately, understanding that reality is a loop and alternate paths might coexist encourages us to be less rigid in our thinking. Life doesn't have to be a straight line or a series of unbending paths. Flexibility and openness lead to unexpected detours that might hold more promise than the original plan. So what do we do with this revelation? We start by accepting that imperfection is not failure, but part of exploration. Each loop, each alternate outcome, strengthens our understanding and guides our choices. This isn't just a theoretical exercise, it's a practical blueprint for a fulfilled life. Embarking on everyday tasks with this awareness means each moment holds potential. Whether that's learning a new skill, mending a relationship, or simply appreciating what went unnoticed before. Every single choice becomes a significant step to a more enriched and expansive reality. And therein lies the final revelation. Reality, in its loops and alternate branches, is waiting for a traveler bold enough to explore, adapt, and thrive with each twist and turn. Embrace each moment with the certainty that it brings wisdom and presents endless possibilities for creation and recreation. Imagine waking up each day, the same routine playing out with no surprises, only a cycle of predictability. Yet deep within, there's a yearning for something more, a desire to grasp that elusive sense of control over the unfolding of one's life. We often wonder if there's a way to shift the narrative, to change our experience in ways we've only dreamed of. This isn't merely about adjusting small parts of our daily schedule. It's about realizing the potential to influence the very fabric of our reality. In the midst of our routine, there lies a hidden door, a possibility that goes unnoticed by most. It's the idea that reality, as we perceive it, is malleable. Time loops and alternate realities aren't just abstract concepts discussed in the fantastical tales of movies and books. There's a line of thinking that positions them as potential tools for rewiring our experience, broadening our understanding, and indeed taking control of what is often thought to be uncontrollable. To tap into this potential, we must start with the notion of time as we know it. Linear and uniform, time guides our lives from past to future. But what if shifting your perception of time could mold your reality just the way you want? Imagine recognizing patterns, rewriting certain moments by understanding they're not inflexible. Each loop gives a chance to refine actions, choices, and reactions. The possibility of breaking out of a loop is real, offering a chance to reimagine outcomes. Alternate realities present another layer of this experience. They suggest there are many outcomes to every decision we make. Think of them as paths on an infinite map, each experience only a few degrees away from the next. This isn't just theoretical. It's a mindset shift that encourages broader thinking and greater control. By envisioning alternate realities, you allow yourself to explore different outcomes without the constraints of a single reality holding you back. While this may seem profound, it starts with simple acts. Reflect on moments that repeat and assess why they do so. Is there a change you wish to make? This practice challenges you to think differently, giving space to choose actions that lead to outcomes you desire. In doing so, you'll start to witness shifts in your daily existence. Patterns that once felt immovable can transform, highlighting the power of choice and perception. Taking control of your reality is a progressive process, requiring self-awareness and patience. It means acknowledging the constraints and capabilities of your life as it stands and gradually repositioning your experience. Small adjustments can lead to big changes, and by accepting the fluidity of reality, you embark on a journey where you don't feel trapped by the past or an unchanging future. Whether it's improving daily interactions or making meaningful life decisions, shifting your perspective on time and reality can open doors you never thought possible. Reality is not as solid as it appears. Rather, it offers flexibility, allowing you to bend it to your will. As you explore these ideas, remember that this isn't about escaping the present. It's about harnessing the potential to influence it. The true step forward is realizing that the concept of reality is vastly more flexible than we've been led to believe. The loops and alternatives offer a key, not to rewrite time, but to navigate it more effectively. With this knowledge, you hold the potential to create a world that aligns more closely with your deepest desires. This approach empowers you to not only respond more creatively, but also understand that each moment holds possibilities previously unseen. As you continue on this path, allow your curiosity and critical thinking to guide each step. The choices you make today won't just affect tomorrow. They create ripples through an ever-shifting expanse of possibilities, each waiting for you to carve a new path. As we conclude this exploration, remember, the choices you make are powerful. Each moment provides an opportunity, not just a reaction to the world around you. It's about taking that step forward, knowing that every action paves a pathway towards different outcomes. Every day is a new possibility, a chance to rewrite the story the way you wish it to be. You have discovered the amazing ability to impact your reality, to select which loop to enter, and now it's about embracing that potential. So why wait? Dive into the mystery of each decision and let them unfold in new and exciting directions. Stay curious and open to the hints that life throws at you, those small signs that might seem insignificant at first. They are the threads that weave a different chapter of your life. The more you recognize these, the more you'll tap into the different layers of what your reality can become. By choosing a path less traveled, you open doors to unique experiences and growth. It's about being present, aware, and ready to face whatever comes your way. Don't settle for the predictable or the expected. Allow your life to be a canvas where you paint your journey boldly, with colors of bravery and imagination. Take one moment at a time and treat every choice as the key to something greater. This way, each day becomes a new chance to live the story you've always wanted. Where will your decisions take you tomorrow? What reality will you craft today? The potential for change lies in your hands. Embrace it. If you've made it this far, you're already witnessing reality differently. And that means you're ready to take control. But knowledge without action is wasted power. The difference between people who transform their reality and those who stay stuck is what they do with what they've learned. Right now, you have a choice: to stay passive and let reality happen to you, or to step into your role as the observer and start shaping your future. If you're ready to take control, show it. Like this video right now, because every time you engage, you're reinforcing this message in your subconscious. Comment "present now" below to declare that you are no longer stuck in the past or waiting for the future. You are fully awake, fully aware, and fully in charge of the reality you create. If this resonated with you, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment of the knowledge that can literally reprogram your life. But if you want to go even deeper, if you want exclusive tools, experiments, and insights to apply this in your daily life, then join the Philosophical Essence newsletter. This is where I share next-level techniques that don't just inspire you, but actually show you how to shift into a completely new reality. The link is in the description. Sign up now. This is your moment. Your future self is already waiting for you. The only question is, are you ready to step into it?